Waiting on you.
All right. What's up, everybody? So, this is the big season preview episode of the Maroon Link Up podcast. So, top dog, first, how you doing? And man, you ready to jump in that portal?
No. I'm doing all right, man. I had a root canal done, man. I was flossing and pulled one of my freaking feelings out, man, and they couldn't save it. So they were like, hey, we got to do a root canal. So mouth a little sore, but hey, I'll be all right. Let's get it.
All right. So, I did mention about that portal because, a judge threw down an injunction this week or threw down, and the SEC met up and they were like, nah, we're not allowing dudes to jump in that portal from NFL, which I know it sounds silly, but that's pretty much what was happening. There were a couple guys that were committing to schools, even though they were in NFL training camps. And like what people don't understand, you ain't talking about a couple guys who might have went to a training camp for a couple weeks before the season. These guys got drafted or were undrafted signees more than likely after the draft. So you're talking about from April to now August. So they were part of NFL programs, getting training, no class, no school, and then all of a sudden they jump in that portal and they can go back to college just because of the new ruling. So some guys try to take advantage of that loophole.
Right.
So the what do you got to think about? Like all these guys talking about going back to the college level. Lane Kiffin was all in the middle of that.
Well, first of all, I got two on that, right? So, and well, to answer your question, right? I explained it a little bit last week, right? I don't think it's fair for these guys to come back. If you're already in the pro league, stay there. If you weren't gonna make it there, what good are you really gonna do in this college day, right?
Right.
You had a chance to prove yourself for 4 freaking years, right? You was
Mm-hmm.
out there on the training roster. And there's no reason why you should be coming back. I know I got it. Everybody want to get to the bag, right? Now that the college
Mm-hmm.
players are playing, right? So I get it, right? But the courts did a great thing, man. And then SEC, Big Ten, even though they're not going to allow NFL players to come back and play if they sign in any capacity. In the pro league, right? And I think that was good, especially for the high school talents that coming out and the people that have been worked hard. Just think about when the time is coming. Imagine you've been working all spring, all summer, and a week before game week, I get cut, right? I don't feel that's fair. I done busted my butt just because a couple players from the NFL want to come back. Is they gonna make a major impact? Me personally, I don't feel that they would, right? Now, Lane Kiffin is the one that pushing it. That says a lot about his team. All the hype about hey LSU gonna be number one, they're gonna be this. That don't sound like a number one winning team to me. That's just
Mm-hmm.
me. I might be wrong, but that don't seem like a winning culture to me. That you don't have trust in your team that you got if you got to go pull from the NFL, and that's just
Hey, a lot of like man, that tight end that was available would have been nice to kind of get him though. Like,
man, stop.
that guy, he's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't
Hmm.
think our tight ends are terrible or anything, but it's all been nice to get.
But
uh,
still though, how's that fair?
I don't think it is. I think it's guys trying to take advantage. Obviously, we knew the money wasn't part of the equation at the college level. Now, them guys would never do something like that. I mean, I
Right.
don't even know they'd be doing a 5 for 5 if it wasn't for that actual model of guys getting paid in college now, legally at least.
Mm-hmm.
Some programs were NIL before there was NIL. Oh, Miss, cough, cough. Oh, Miss. So, um, it like so it is a different landscape now. So I think everybody's just adjusting to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it just sounds wrong for guys to be able to play on a pro team and
Mm-hmm.
then you come back to the college level. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's one thing you get drafted and there's some type of agreement that you can go back to college for a year, then go back to that pro team. I think one that's been done before. Even Larry Bird played for
Mhm.
Indiana State after he got drafted by the Celtics.
Right.
But like, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, if them dudes really that good, like why are they even available right now?
Exactly.
Like you gotta
Exactly.
um I do think it's gonna prevent. I mean, I do want to see in the future now, though, as guys, now that the 5 for 5 is an actual rule, those guys that are those fringe players, maybe a junior that went pro early, or got us a 4th year guy. Now that we got to call him, what happens if that guy, maybe feel like he isn't good enough? He doesn't get drafted initially, then he decides he wants to come back. Like, are we going to create rules for that? Like, so what if they don't get an agent
Right. Yeah, I
and they
mean,
don't, and they don't, you know?
but in that case, though, they do that with baseball right now. You know what I'm saying? From the high school players, right?
Mm.
So I have no problem with that. It's the guys that's already gone. They're gone, right? They already going through training camp. They doing all that good stuff. I don't think those high school players when they get drafted for baseball actually go attend the camp. They either before they sign, they either go to school or they don't, right?
Mm.
So I think that's the way they should go about it, and I think that's always been the case. They should go about it. Hey, if I don't get drafted uh, before I sign an undrafted free agent deal, I'm just gonna take some time and think about going back to college, right? But if I sign a free agent deal and I go through a camp, a mini camp, any camp of a pro entity, nah, your college career over with. Now I gotta try to make it happen in the NFL, and that's just my take on it. Or go down to the UCL, you know, UCL. What do they call it? The other league they be having. Uh,
Um,
yeah, go to one of those leagues, right? But you're a professional. You consider a professional once you've done it.
Man, how does it just feel now? Like, I know I'm actually part of a fantasy league
Mm-hmm.
for the first time, probably the first time I'm actually doing like a league where you actually get to compete,
Right.
and just football being back in season. Man, we're getting there now. High school, does it start in Mississippi this week, or has it already started?
Starts tomorrow.
Crazy,
High
crazy
school.
work, man. High school football starting, and people probably don't know, being from Mississippi. No, we're not Texas, but being where we're from, even though he lived in Caledonia, I lived in Columbus. That Golden Triangle area, that north, like, it's football. They don't play around there. I mean, it's some of the best teams in the state in that area. So you're around some pretty good football. But just as being back football season, which is, I think I always tell people, man, that's my busiest time of year, is normally during football season. All my boys are in the football, so that's
Yeah.
normally what we are.
Yeah, we bought
A
most of
lot of
to be in. Hey, they got, man. They starting out with some bangers starting tomorrow, man. I want to show love to my school, man, but I'm contemplating going to see Brandon and Tupelo play here in Tupelo. I am really debating that. Hey, that's 1 and 2 right off the rip of the state. 1 and 2 right off the rip. Let's see it. I don't know, man. I want to show love to my high school, my alma mater, but dang, I really want to go to there. And it's right up the street too, man. But I know that if you don't get there early, that's gonna be sold out.
Yeah, man. It's like, it's just like I said, football in the air. And like I kind of said, I was going to dive a little bit more into the sports realm. You
Yeah,
know, being back being in the teaching game, I think I'm very locked in with that. But I was like, well, I think I kind of missed the sports a little bit. I'm kind of excited, kind of like, really, for us to start the show, and really that first game preview episode of Louisiana Monroe. I mean, that ain't the most exciting matchup, but I think it's always a good idea to kind of see what we got for this season and what we're gonna do. And with that being said, I guess we can go ahead and kind of jump into the overall official season preview.
right.
All right, let's get to it. All right. So we're gonna have our key storylines, our breakout players, and our game by game picks. All right, so let's talk about what are some things, like, top dog, that you're gonna be kind of watching this season.
Um, what, not for the season? For us to win. That's what I'm gonna be watching for us to
Right, right,
see.
right.
Yeah, but one of my key things that I want to see, did we make that step forward that we've ever been talking about, right? I want to
Mm-hmm.
see if we took another step forward, and can we battle in those close games? And what I mean by it, you remember when we went down to A&M that year in 2022 or 21, one of those years, right? That close game that we had. You know what I'm saying? I want to see if we can hold on to those type of victories this season. Unlike, all three of them went the other way last season. I wonder if you know all the head coaches that Levy hired, former head coaches that Levy hired, would see if they would be, help him make better decisions and slow the game down, right? and listen to his assistants coach more, right? I got it. You want to play your brand of football, but at the same time, you coach for your career this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one key thing I want to be able to see, right? For the defense, I want to see how explosive Arnett can get these guys, or just say, hey, those first 3 seasons he was with Leach, what those just fluke, you know what I'm saying, years. Um, it's so much that I want to see out of this team because we haven't been very good in the last 3 years, right? So I just want to see if we can take a gigantic step forward. And I want to see who is our star going to be outside of the guys that's leaving, that we know that's going to be leaving next year. Um, I want to see how KaMario Taylor progressed in his passing game, and how he's going to take care of his body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another thing I want to be able to see, I want to see how um, uh, the running back room is, because I'm a former running back and I love running back, right? So I want to see how these guys um, solid, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it, man, for me.
Well, I think, of course, it begins to end with KaMario. I think with him, I think he is going to have a big season. But I think with him, I want to see. I mean, hopefully he doesn't hit adversity, but we know that's going to happen. He's a sophomore. He hasn't started a full season yet, so I think he's going to get out to a hot start. I
Mm-hmm.
think he's going to have a early start to the season.
Mm-hmm.
Just basically, he had 11 touchdowns last year in spot duty. What he's going to do as a starter? I mean, it's fair to say he's going to triple those numbers. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if he stays healthy. I think the thing is when we run into that middle stretch, just showing ultimate respect to those teams, he's going to run into adversity. What's going to happen when they get tape? What's going to happen, as you said, maybe they find a way to take away the deep ball. I think it's going to be hard against our team because of how much speed we do have at the receiver position. But what's
Mm-hmm.
going to happen when he hits adversity? He can't throw the ball or he can't do certain things as far as like when teams are really coming at him. What's going to happen then?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what I want to see is how he handles that adversity.
Right.
Excuse me. So I think that's the thing I'm kind of watching for. And then after that, that middle stretch is very tough. You come across 4 games that I think are very winnable. Not all winnable where it's easy games, but I think it's definitely winnable games. But how does he come through that 4 game stretch where we play those top? All those teams are either playoff contenders or were in the playoffs last year. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what you have to wait to see. I think we're giving these teams way too much respect and difference.
Mm-hmm.
These LSU's, these Alabama is not Bama anymore. They're Alabama now. LSU, they haven't been dominant in years, since they had that, dominant season in 2019. I mean, it's the reason they got a new coach. I mean, they've gone through 2 coaches in the last, whatever years. So I'm not saying those teams aren't that good. I like Texas, as I've stated how much, I'm a big fan of Arch Manning. So I like their teams. Some of those games are more a situation where, we might predict one way or another just because you're at home. But the thing, I think this going to be one of the important storylines. Of course, we talked about the defensive and offensive line. Will they be improved? I think just by the law of averages, they probably will be. And then, of course, we're going to kind of have to monitor how much better Arnett makes this defense. Or were we talking some improvement where, we go to where we rely on 25 points a game instead of 30? Or is it he turns it into a dominant unit? Because if he turns it into the dominant unit, we can really start having some fun. When you got KaMario Taylor at running back, Fluff Baldwell, Anthony Evans, and you throw in a great defense, I mean, that's dangerous. If we had a great defense last year, we probably been pretty good. And that's the thing we got to really kind of look at.
Mm-hmm.
So those are kind of my storylines to watch. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you've talked about some guys. So we got some who are going to be our breakout players. So I kind of started off with this as far as guys. I mean, I think KaMario is an easy pick because technically he's a traditional breakout player in the sense of he didn't start last year and he's a guy as a first-time starter. But I think it's so much hype on him. I think that I don't want to be cheating to call him a breakout player.
Mm-hmm.
Player I'm probably looking for is probably on the offensive side of the ball, probably like a San Francisco McGee. I think that's a name we got to kind of watch. We need that bigger receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with him having that relationship with KaMario, I think they're roommates, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's a guy that could step up, even though I think he's not even listed as the starter right now. He's a guy I think can step up and really make a huge impact.
Right.
A huge impact.
Right.
Needing that bigger receiver on the outside. So I think that's a guy on the offensive side of the ball I think I'm looking out for. And on the defense side of the football, we talk a lot about Amari Williams. He's a guy. But it probably will be someone like a Jet Jefferson as a breakout guy. And maybe even a Tyler Lockhart. Got a few guys that probably can fit that mold. But I would probably say, like an Amari Williams, because he's a guy that kind of like, hadn't had a position, master of all trades, jack of none. But those are my guys I kind of expect to break out, even though, Amari Williams didn't play for State last year.
Right.
All right, so who are some of the guys you're looking at as some breakout players for Mississippi State?
Well, you talked about two of them that I'm kind of, leaning to. And one was Tyler Lockhart, right? That's who for my defensive player. I want to see him. And then honorable mention, I want to see what Gilbert does, right? The guy that's coming over from LSU. This is final run, you know what I mean? So I want to see if he's gonna be a breakout. And then for as my offensive guy, I want to see a guy that's been with the program for a minute now, Aiden Williams. I want to see him, for as my receiver, because we know what we got with Anthony Evans. We know what we got with Zion. We know what we got with Marquise Johnson, right? Those are proven players, right? But I want to go with people that's been on the team for a while, right? Mississippi State guys, right? I want to see Aiden Williams. He showed a lot of flashes, and after you go back and do a lot of your research, you find out this guy was injured, playing injured. So right now he's injured a little bit right now, but it's nothing serious for the. He's been injury prone, but I'm predicting that guy to have a breakout season because he showed flashes. They just missed him on a couple throws. You know what I mean? I want to see him, since it's his final ride as well, I want to see him go ahead and take that step. And then my second for the offense, right? And I'm going with a running back guy. I want to see what JJ Hill do, man. I heard he's been a force in the red zone. So far, and that's all the buzz that I've been getting around the street here back home around the campus is that JJ Hill is a freshman that we're gonna have to watch out for. I don't want to give away a lot of our secrets because people been quiet on Mississippi State, but they just don't realize that there's a lot of weapons on this team that's gonna be coming in that they're gonna face. They don't know them yet, but I got a feeling they're gonna find out who they are real quick.
Well, my thing is, even with all those pieces, is that and like people don't know, like we're gonna get into it more with the season prediction. Like we don't really need our offense to be any better. That's the crazy part. That ain't really the big issue.
Nope.
Offense wasn't horrible last year. I think they weren't explosive. I think we were a little hit or miss. I think that's the thing.
Average 30 points a game, though. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of it was hit or miss. We weren't really walking the ball down the field, and I think that's the thing you want to be able to see this year. Yeah. And I was able to score points.
Right.
I mean, 30 points a game, and then the sneeze at it is just that we gave up just as many.
Right. So, you know what I'm saying? We're going to that because we couldn't stop a nosebleed, bro, at all.
Yeah, so it's like that's the thing I think people have to look at. We don't actually need KaMario to be great in that way. We don't need him to be. We need the defense to be better.
Right.
Could a KaMario Taylor make up for a weak defense? Possibly. But it's only going to get you so far.
Right.
I mean, you much rather just have a good defense and not need this six, because, I mean, he even talked about, I think, in the interview, him not going out there being great, basically like that ain't what God put him on this earth not to do, is not to be that way. This is how his mind clicks. So, I mean, he's going to go out there and try to win the game for us. And it's like, it'd be nice where he don't have to do that.
Right.
Every game.
Right.
Now, having the KaMario Taylors, those are guys you need against the Alabamas, the LSUs, the Oklahomas of the world. But he shouldn't have to be Superman every game. So, I mean, that's the thing. So, I think defense had to do that and take the pressure off of having. And he, like, as you stated before, he ain't our only good player on offense. So I think people have to look at it that way too. We got other pieces, but he's a heck of a piece to have. I think he ain't a defensive lineman, but he's the first to come off the bus. He's the first person people think about when people are game planning. They worried about him because his arm is strong, very strong, and he has an elite arm, and he can run that thing. He's
Right.
strong, he's big. You know, he's the guy you game plan for.
Mm-hmm.
Like us running that RPO gonna be deadly this year.
Yeah.
With him and Fluff Bothwell, hopefully a JJ Hill, hopefully a Colin Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
With all those guys, like he gonna be that zone read gonna be a mother. You know,
Exactly.
so we got to watch out for that. All right, so now we get into our big predictions. We're gonna go game by game first, and then we'll reveal Top Dogs and Jay Short's final predictions. And y'all can laugh or not laugh, or we're gonna see who right come the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's start. Louisiana Monroe. Who you got, Top Dog?
This ain't even a game. I don't even want to pick this one. But we already know State gonna beat this one, right? But what I want to see in this game, right? I want to see if we can go in there and turn the lights off early, right? Make this no competition in the first 2 quarters, right? Right. I want to see the defense be dominant. I want all phases of the game to be dominant, right? But not show too much. You know what I mean? Execute your basic plays at a high standard, right? That's when you fine tune those basic plays that you know we're gonna run, right? And they'll give you something to go back and study for and practice over for the next week because you're gonna need it, right? So that's what I want to see. What do you want to see, Jeremiah?
I don't want to see us be efficient. Like you said, put them away. Get our main players out by third quarter. I think that's the main goal for that game. Get everybody excited. Let KaMario go out there, throw that thing around a little bit. I don't want to see no little 2-yard passes. I want to see him sling that thing. You know, get a couple highlights, some that you can play for the next game. Because they had some pretty good highlight packages when we was going on that run with Dak in 2014. Give us some stuff for the highlight packages. You know, that don't mean KaMario got to go out there and try to win the Heisman on every throw. But give us some plays that can get people excited, you know, for the rest of the season. Because I think our fans need that. I think that's the thing we kind of been missing. You know, even though, you know, the fan support has kind of waned a little bit, you know, in different seasons the past couple of years. But it's like, if anything, KaMario gives you something to be excited about. And then the defense just go out there and be dominant. Right. I don't care if it is Louisiana Monroe. Go out there and shut them out. You know what I'm saying? Make it look like you're an SEC team. Right. Yes, it's you Louisiana Monroe, but that's the point. It's Louisiana Monroe. Right. Go out there and prove a point, be dominant. And I think that'll set a tone for the rest of the season, even though it's still, you know, a lower tier opponent. That's how you set a tone for a season. So right. I think it goes without saying that both of us are saying this is going to be a dub for Mississippi State.
Yeah.
All right. Gets trickier. Minnesota. Who you got?
Well, with Minnesota, right? I think they're more like a program like us, right? I don't think they done had the success that they had in the past in the Big Ten, right? They're kind of that middle of the road for the Big Ten, and everybody know middle of the road for the Big Ten is sorry. Outside of the top, what? Penn State, Oregon now, Ohio State, Michigan. It's really nothing else left in that league. You know what I'm saying? That's going to really, is they top tier Big Ten? No. Can we go out there and compete with those guys? Of course, right? This should be a good game between us and them.
Yeah, I think it should be, but I think we come out with the dub. I think we come out with the dub. Do you think we're going to come out with the dub?
I don't know, man. You have to see my prediction.
I thought it'd be one of the things we walk game by game and then reveal the final prediction.
Nah, I do my final prediction at the end.
Okay. All right. Now, I think I'll go with that too. I like that. So South Carolina, what are we thinking there with South Carolina? And as far as, you know, they got Lenore Sellers. He had a down year last year, and their coach is on the hot seat as well. So it's kind of a mirror game in a way. What do you think going to happen?
With this game, I think it's going to be the battle of what you said. Coach, I don't think Leb is on the hot seat. But I think this is gonna be a good game, right? It could go either way. I think when you go and look at it, to me, I think we have the same talent level, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got a good quarterback, we got a good quarterback. They got a good running back, we got a good running back. But here's the thing: who is Lenore Sanders going to throw the ball to? Two of their great receivers are out for the season. So now, who are they going to throw the ball to?
Mm.
That's the question. And I see a lot of people around the internet not really even, you know, taking into account what just doesn't happen up there in South Carolina. I guess the new Georgia, the new Alabamas, the new Texas, people that could just roll out another 5-star player. This is not a 5-star player happy team. Yeah, they might got one or two, just like we might got one or two, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're not lit up and down the street with a bunch of 5-star that I can plug and play. And this guy, right?
Mm.
He ain't really showed that he could be a dominant passer either. He ain't put nothing on tape showing that, hey, yeah, you had a good run against Alabama these last 2 years, right? So did everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So did everybody else. Everybody, but you didn't get the victory, right? He didn't get those victories when the time mattered. Yeah, he was able to jump out and lead them to some success. And your only claim to fame is beating Clemson. What have they been in the last 3 years? So
Deshaun Watson is not walking through that door.
exactly. So, I feel like this game go either way, but this definitely, I got this game circled, right? This game circled. That's gonna tell us a lot about how we're gonna go, how our season gonna go.
They weren't exactly too good last year.
Right.
4-8. I mean, I ain't saying that's a chalk win, but I mean we weren't great last year. But we probably a couple key plays away from probably being a 8-win team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the thing we have to look at too. Their quarterback, man, he was that big. I'm looking at him now, 6'3", 240. So I mean, he's probably a little shorter than KaMario, but
he can run the ball now. I give him that. He electric. He's dominant. But so is KaMario Taylor. He got those some of the same highlights he got. He just able to be a starter for the last 2 years.
Well, and I think that's the thing. That's going to be a game that he's going to have circled on the schedule because he's seeing all the glades and all that stuff. These kids are into this stuff. So I guess we can say that about these players now. So we're at that age now, but they think like that. So KaMario getting all the hype is a young buck. By the time they go into this game, it's going to be both of their first SEC game.
Yeah.
He's the new hot stuff in the league. Everybody's talking about how big his arm he got. All of these, former players saying he'll do. He had the Manning camp. They're saying how he got this big arm. All these great things about KaMario. So Lenore Sellers got this circled on the schedule.
But okay, right? We got first round draft picks on the defensive corner, and I ask yourself this question: if we can stop the run, where are you gonna throw the ball?
Well, probably not gonna be able to throw it anyway. Even if he had those guys, he ain't gonna be able to throw it with the corners that we got. If Jefferson has stepped up the way that many are saying he is, I mean, if you already got an elite guy, which he's not a Mississippi State elite guy, he's an elite guy.
Yeah, this guy's draft pick, so one side of the field is gone.
Yeah, like
you got Isaac Smith, you know what I mean? It's just so many pieces, and then you got a senior guy coming in from LSU that didn't play ball at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? Them beat some of these teams before, them beat Lenore Sellers for it, so he can already educate these guys to what to look out for the secondary. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of, never mind. I just, I don't want to give too much out. You know what I'm saying? But that right there is some of the keys, I think, on that game. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I will say our next game coming up after that, that's probably going to be the toughest one of that stretch, but I think it's the perfect timing for us because, we'd already got knocked out some of the kinks against these other teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, that's the perfect game, but he got Bama next. It's like,
I mean, but here's the thing. One thing I do know about it, right? I believe that's an early kick. That's an early kick, right? I'm pretty sure that's an early kick, right?
Let me see. Missouri. Let me see.
Win the early window. I'm pretty sure.
1 second. It shows to be determined.
Oh, okay. But most likely, depending on how we go in that South Carolina game, it's probably going to be because you think about this. We already know that. No, is that the week? LSU plays. No, no, that's not the week. LSU. Somebody. It's another big game that comes on that week. I know it's not the LSU Ole Miss game, but that's the week of the South Carolina game. So, um, with this Missouri, we on Missouri, right?
Yeah.
On the Missouri game, on this Missouri game, right? Is our first home SEC game, right? The crowd gonna be juiced up. This is the first time we're gonna be able to see really what we got, and I think that we're gonna be coming in at something and something, possibly 3-1, possibly 3-0, right? Well, 2-0, 2-1 or 3-0, right? I think the crowd gonna be in it, and with them not having Amon Hardy, we don't know yet. This guy hadn't even practiced. He gonna need more than 3 weeks to get on the field. You know
Well,
what
I
I'm saying?
think even if he's on the field, he's gonna be healthy, kind of similar
Right,
to last year.
right. And then who do they got to throw the ball to? Yeah, you got Austin, the guy from Ole Miss, as quarterback now, but he done had limited duties his whole college career so far. So I think this is gonna be an evenly matched game, a very, very evenly matched game.
We
It's
at
not,
home.
yeah, we at home. I'm not really afraid of this game at all. Can it go either way? Yes, it could go either way. But judging by what I have seen and what I done researched, I think it's gonna be somewhere around it's gonna be a 10-point spread between this game. Right? Either way.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it is an even matchup. Like I said, it's really a test game for us,
Yeah.
and they'll really see where we at. You win a game like that, you got some confidence going into these next 4 games. One of them, I think we have a bye week in between those games, that Alabama LSU game, but it gives you some confidence.
Right.
It's in the next. We play Alabama in Starfield, but Alabama is at least they're not Bama anymore, but they're still Alabama. So
There's still 5 stars on there across there. That's what people fail to realize. I hear a lot of people saying, Alabama ain't what they used to be. Alabama don't run this. Alabama don't do this. But they still winning. They're still going to the playoffs. They're still going to SEC
I
playoffs.
think it's kind of a. I think Kelly DeBoer is catching the guy after the guy effect.
Yeah, of course. Of course. The guy only lost 8 games in 2 seasons, bro. You know what I'm saying? The dude got a great record. Go back to his other schools. The dude ain't never had a losing record. Joker always been almost a 10-win team, or if not been a 10-win team every season. So I don't understand why he getting any hate. Bro, he could beat us. You know what I'm saying? He could beat us right now. You know what I'm saying? But they're not. I remember in my lifetime, Alabama's been a doggone walk in the park for us. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't that long ago, really. Like Broom beat him like twice, I think.
Huh?
Broom beat him like twice, I think.
That's what I'm saying. Chrome beat him twice, back-to-back years with Nick Saban. You know what I'm saying? So that goes to show you, it could be worse. You know what I'm saying? It could be worse. You done had some, what was that guy, Mike Schuler? Did they have before?
Mike Price.
Yeah, the guys couldn't win nothing. But right now, you think about it. Nick Saban, he gonna be removed 3 years now. He still got 5-star players from Nick Saban on there. Right? But then again, I can see everybody's point. Why you getting players from Mississippi State that show that they wasn't good at all? That's gonna making your starting offensive line. So hey, I do get it. And then they gonna. I can see other people, man. They got a freshman that everybody hyping up. You know,
Keelan Russell, yeah.
yeah. Freshmen gonna make mistakes, man. I mean, you don't have your Bryce Youngs and your Tuga Valogas and your Hurts anymore at Alabama. They're not coming back in that door. You know, like I said, I just don't see it. You know what I'm
But I
saying?
think with them too, what a special note on them. You got to really think about Austin Mack. I was listening to him talk about him earlier. That dude has lost out on 3 straight quarterback battles, being with Kellen DeBoer. I'm like, bro, why are you still there or with this? He's lost 3 times in a quarterback battle. So I don't know. And just a special note there.
I don't know. I noticed that too. But it's still Alabama, man. They still got Ryan Williams over there. They still got elite talent over there. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we quite there yet. I don't
I don't know either for this particular game, but we'll see with our official predictions. We got that bye week, which is a good time. You know, you almost wish, you know, you had the bye week after Missouri because that would kind of lead into you know, that 4-game stretch where you kind of can get yourself prepared. But I think that Alabama game would kind of be a litmus test, and you kind of be like, okay, this is what we really are against real competition.
Right.
And then you can go, what do you need to do to get ready for LSU? What do you need to do to get rid of Oklahoma? What do you need to do to get ready for Texas? What do you need to do to get ready for those teams? And I think that bye week's going to be good for that. Because part of me is almost like, whether you lose or win, it's probably not going to be the best thing. You lose with losing, you know, you get a chance to recalibrate and know where you're at. But if you win, you're going to kill your momentum.
Right.
So it's kind of like, I do got a feeling we're going to get one of those 4, but we'll say that for the prediction. All right, so next we have the Lane Kiffin, Mr. Jumping that portal himself, Kiffin, LSU Tigers.
I don't think they're going to be as good as everybody think they're going to be. Yeah, Lane Kiffin's a good coach. After every program he went to, they won at top first time. You go on LSU, they said, matter of fact, they had all the same hype around freaking Brian Kelly, and you see how they turned out. Brian Kelly looked like he was the best thing.
Because came in there on some using different language and talking country and all. I'm like, bro, what you got going on? Like,
exactly. Thought he was the best thing since sliced bread coming from Notre Dame, where they don't play nobody and they pick their schedule. And now you got to come down here and play with the big boys and show your real talent as a coach, and you couldn't do it, right? Now, we know Lane's been in the league for a while, but you going into a whole nother program. You're going to have to build it up. Yeah, you brought all your coaches with you, but is these guys really going to click in that fast? Look how long it took them to click in at Ole Miss. They lost 2 games that they shouldn't have lost by. One that comes to my attention right off the bat when they were so hyped, they lost to Kentucky. Kentucky was trash that year, and they lost to Kentucky. Lane is going to lose some games that he didn't supposed to lose. Trying to do stupid stuff, trying to run the score up, trying to be something that he's not, right? Yeah, you got a whole bunch of 5-star, 4-star players just like Alabama have down there. But I don't see him putting it all together year 1.
Right. And I don't think so either. He's a good coach. But he's the guy who can come in that first year and do that. Like, I've only seen him bring that energy once. That was at Tennessee. I still believe he should have never left that program. At least not at that time where he did. I understand that, you know, had a unique opportunity to go to USC. So I never would say his coaching talent ain't there. I don't think he should have left LSU. I'm glad he left LSU. I'm not LSU or Ole Miss, excuse me. I don't think he should have left Ole Miss, but you know he has. But I don't think he should have. But it's good for us because I feel a little bit more comfortable with Pete Golding, that coach. But LSU, I think like people acting like they're some dominant team. They're not. So it's like everybody saying, "Oh man, there's no way you win those 4 games." Based off what? Like, of all those teams, you know, I'm a big Arch Manning fan, but it's reasonable to say. And that 4 games we played, the only quarterback I honestly believe you could say at the moment even is better than Arch Manning is probably Arch Manning. I don't know if that's going to be the way at that point in the season. Has KaMario Taylor become Cam Newton at that point in impact? I mean, he's his own man, but has he become that guy in that level of impact?
You
And I
said
think that's the question you got to
who?
ask yourself.
Who in these four game stretch you think the best quarterback is?
I think we've already established that I think that Arch Manning is the best quarterback in the SEC.
Man, you drinking tonight, man. Whatever you got in that cup,
Well, you
man,
know I don't drink.
go dump it out, man. Go dump it out. Whatever you drinking in that cup, man, go dump it out. Arch Manning is not good. I done seen him up close in person 2 or 3 times already. He's not that good, right? Um, Now the guy that's at the LSU game, I think he's better than Arch Manning. That's Mateer.
Mm.
Mateer is way better, and that game right there at home for us, ooh, I think, and with Brett Venables, a defensive mind, bro. Ah, I'm going to game, but I'm going to go have fun with no expectations.
That's the game we probably really gonna see how good KaMario is. I think that's the game we got a chance to see against a great defense coordinator. Alabama's Alabama. LSU, we don't know what they're gonna be,
Mm-hmm.
and then Oklahoma's the game where you're kind of gonna be like, okay, this is what we got.
Right.
Like I said, I'm being realistic about a player like KaMario as a sophomore, first time starter. You really gonna see the growing pains, or you should. That's just normal. So this will be the game we're gonna figure out KaMario Taylor really is.
But you know what? A good thing about us playing the LSU game, we play at 11 o'clock, right?
Mm,
I think the Red River Classic that weekend
mm.
as well. I'm pretty sure it is, or it's week 10, and we'll get to see exactly who is the better quarterback between Mateer and Manning. You know what I mean? So actually get to see that.
Well, another thing, just backtracking a little bit to LSU, I think one of the things that's going to determine that for us as far as a game like that is everybody, talking about Sam Levitt coming. Sam Levitt hadn't did that against Mississippi State in 2 years.
Nope.
And the 2 years he's played us, I mean, their success is going to be predicated on how good he is. If he's not an elite quarterback that everybody projecting to be a potential, first rounder,
But
I mean,
here,
that game gets a lot more manageable, even if it's on the road.
but one thing I can say about that though, Lane Kiffin have made trash quarterbacks look like freaking. Look at Blake Simmons. That joker was trash. Hey, look at that joker was beyond trash. Look at Jalen Hurts. He's okay, but he wasn't that great. You know what I mean? But he did at what Lane did. And then what was the other guy? That Luke Altmaier. You know what I'm saying? Who was the other guy up there played for the Giants? So Lane has made some great quarterbacks. By then, I'm pretty sure Lane had that guy home and in. Uh, and he'll be able to see a lot of because he going into adversity game 1. So we're gonna know a lot about LSU on game 1
Mm-hmm.
on Saturday.
And that's why that's going to be a tougher game coming off that bye week. At that point, they may have established themselves as a potential playoff contender. So they're going to come with it, and they in Baton Rouge.
Yep, I'm still
If it was the
going.
home game, I'd probably look at it a little different.
I'm depending on how we looking, I still might go to that game.
Hmm.
I leave that night and be back home by the end of the day. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking about going to that game as well.
So, okay. So now we get to Texas. It's in Austin, Texas. I might even go to that one as far as I think they're talking about doing some alumni stuff here. About a
Yeah,
3-hour trip.
yeah.
Even though it'll probably be back-to-back trips or whatever, because I know I'm going to the Baylor game on the 17th. One of friends is the coaches, so I'm gonna go check them out. Some be in the area, and then I don't know, doing 2 football trips in the span of 2 weeks. You
Yeah.
know, a little strain on the money, I guess. But that would be a good. I love the Texas A&M game last year.
Yeah.
So we got Texas. What you
Okay.
think about this? You got best quarterback in the SEC, Arch
Oh,
Manning.
God.
Got
Come on.
Cam Coleman at receiver. Got a team that's been one of the better teams in the league the last 2-3 years since they've entered the SEC. Like, how you see that game looking?
Um, right now, everything that's on paper that you just spit out, it seems like Texas gonna dominate that game.
Mm.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, Texas ain't never came. Mississippi State ain't never been scared of Texas. We ain't never been scared of Texas. Nothing about Texas we been scared of. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised this year. We don't let them off the ropes. Don't be surprised because I'm telling you right now, that Arch Manning, if he ain't learned to handle pressure yet, he gonna have to learn to handle pressure with Zach Arnett coming in there, right? Because you seen how he folded against Ohio State, against Florida, against us. Who else? It was another team that dialed up blitz after blitz after blitz after blitz on Arch Manning, and he was choking under pressure. I think it was Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt almost came back and beat him in Austin because they dialed up the blitz. That guy, if he ain't learned to handle pressure, I'm telling you right now, Texas might be in trouble.
Right. We'll see.
And
I'm looking forward to the matchup, man. You got Arch Manning.
Of course.
They got pieces. Texas in this mode. Like, I mean, you lived in Texas for a while, same as I've been living here the last 50 years. I don't know if you ever seen this, but I always tell people, Texas fans, A&M fans, they, for some reason, they're almost more proud of being their team than Texas. Texas don't care unless they're winning.
Yep.
They don't care unless you don't even see. I'm like, man, when you start wearing all this to church, you ain't wore a Texas shirt in like 4 years.
Right. I mean, the Texas of today is not Texas of 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not the same team.
Yeah,
they ain't really been that good since Mac Brown left. I'm gonna say it. You heard it here first. I don't care who told you. Mac Brown was the best coach they had.
And probably so. But the thing is, like I said, they really, I don't know. Like I said, A&M fans here, boy, they talk about how good they are and everything 24/7. I'm like, I don't even know why y'all take that stance, but okay, y'all still a little brother. But I mean, you could say that we're not Ole Miss's little brother. We are their rival. Texas A&M is Texas's little brother. But at the same time, Texas, they're in a bit of a resurgence. I like what they got at quarterback. And now with the playoffs, they're gonna have an opportunity to be in there every season. So I mean, that's the thing you got to kind of look at. They have an opportunity to be there every season, even in the SEC. Because
first of all, everybody got an opportunity to be there. Everybody got an opportunity to be in the playoffs. I'm sorry, you open yourself up for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, like I said, everybody got opportunity. We know it ain't a reality. Well, yeah. I was speaking more figuratively, I guess.
Okay,
That's use that teacher word more figuratively. They have an opportunity to be in the playoffs. So, of course, for Texas fans, that's a big thing. And being able to be back in the mix, be Texas again. They're on a pretty strong run, whether it was Quinn Ewers or at the end of the day, Arch Manning and the team ended up being 10-2 last year.
Right.
6-2 in the conference. So he did something right. So, they just didn't carry with everybody. It's kind of a double-edged sword with an Arch Manning.
Right.
Like, I think he gets more pub because he's Arch Manning. I think I was watching Peyton Manning's son, the highlights, and they were talking about him getting in the middle of the game in the second quarter. He threw the ball. Like, look at that beautiful pass. I'm like, what pass was you looking at? I saw him throw the ball and got tipped and it was wobbling. I was like,
yeah, man.
I'm like, boy.
Man, living off his folks' name, bro. That's all. Other than that, I didn't see no close per that man. I was in the stands last season with all my friends in Texas. Right, their kids are on the team. We was all there. They had left the stadium. They was so mad, and they was yelling the same thing. I don't know why this guy and the guy there was right there in front of us. And they were saying, I don't know why this guy is still our quarterback. And that comes from people that see it week in and week out. You know what I'm saying?
It was a little sketchy for a minute, and I'm not gonna lie. I was like, man, they might need to sit him for like a couple quarters, just let them, get everything in front of them. But I told people last season, I was like, I think like Arch Manning, they protected him his whole life. That's the thing about being a Manning, they don't want to send you to the camps, they don't want to do all that. But at the same time, that's kind of part of it. That's being younger, all of us, like we played on the same football team, folks are like, you competing with each other. It's like a level of competition to going to camps and competing against people. When you're playing in a Christian league where it's not not even a higher classification,
Right.
you know, how does anybody know how good you really are?
Right.
And what happens when you face real competition and you're doing it on a consistent basis in the SEC?
Right.
Like, what does that look like? So I think that's where, um, like Arch Manning really struggled. He
Mm-hmm.
had to adjust to the level of, I call it like with teaching, we call it rigor, but I think he had to kind of get used to what the SEC really looked like and what football really is. 'Cause I think he really didn't know. Coming in and spot duty ain't nothing, but it's another thing to be like that. It's another thing to come in and be able to make an impact right away. So
Yeah.
um, I think he made that adjustment toward the end of the season. So now let's see how he carries it the whole season.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, all right. So things get a little less stressful after this game. You got Vanderbilt, you got Auburn, you got Tennessee Tech, you got Ole Miss. So I mean, Tennessee Tech. If it wasn't so late in the season, I probably say it was a homecoming game. So I say what?
I just laughed.
Yeah. And then you got Vanderbilt,
Mm-hmm.
who ain't that same Vanderbilt. That used to be your chalk win. You hope they were your permanent partner, I guess.
Yeah.
You got Auburn, you got Ole Miss. All
Yeah.
right, so what do you kind of see there with the Vanderbilt game? They ain't the same old Vanderbilt of old. What do you
Man,
see
that
with those?
Vanderbilt game, man, is gonna be tough. I don't care what anybody say. I think the great thing about this Vanderbilt game, right? We had just went through a brutal stretch, and we already be battle tested. I ain't really looked at Vanderbilt's schedule, but we'll be battle tested either way, right? Uh, Coming home from Austin, licking our wounds, right? Uh, we'll probably know if we still have a hot coach or whatever by then anyway. Um, Depending on how the first part of the season go. I think Vanderbilt's tough. Oh man, it's gonna be tough. That's one of the games that I am not 100% confident in on how to pick it because right now Vanderbilt ain't like you said. Things changed when money got involved. And I keep telling people, I say, you look at the schools that used to be, I could go down there, Vanderbilt guaranteed win, Georgia Tech guaranteed win, right? Ever since money that got introduced into those cities, look at them. They have been dominant players because I could pay. One thing I know about Nashville, they got money in Nashville, right? They got real money in Nashville. So guess what happening? People are going there now. And did they relax? I think they might even relax some of their standards a little bit.
Yeah, that might. I mean, people been saying that schools like that needed to do that for a while. Not saying guys, let guys in that don't somewhat fit the academic standard, but it's a lot
Right,
tougher than people realize to get into
right.
those schools. Like one of our classmates, even growing up, I think he said Notre Dame. He actually had pretty good high scores and stuff like that. But even his stuff was a little shaky to get into a Notre Dame and the Vanderbilts of the world. So
Yeah,
you got
those
to
are,
be able to get in a general sense.
yeah, it's just
So
is.
yeah.
But yeah, that game is going. I don't. Oof. I'm
Yeah,
still on the fence. I'm still on the fence about it. I'm still on the fence about the Vanderbilt game.
so I get that. So I think it's gonna be an interesting game. I think it's a good game. I just think I just hope we ain't in a letdown after Texas.
Yeah.
That's the thing you got to kind of watch out for. And
But
then you have, of course, Vanderbilt, not Auburn. What do you kind of see that?
Auburn, we always play. Ever since I was growing up, man, it's been a back and forth with Auburn, man. I think, I think Auburn been more of a rock. This just me personally. I think Auburn, man, been more of a rivalry than Alabama. You know what I'm saying? To
Well,
me,
not for us, especially not for us, because we definitely ain't doing nothing with them.
no, exactly. And I love to go see Auburn and Mississippi State. Shoot, I still got beat Auburn shirts around here. You know what I'm saying? That I don't went to the games for. Um, you know, when the last time we lost to Auburn? I can't even remember the last time we lost to Auburn. Oh man, 20. Shoot, Leach first year maybe.
Let's see.
They haven't been good in a long time. You know what I mean? So
Auburn.
they kind of like us picking themselves off the match. We're a little bit more established. They're gonna be having a first time head coach coming from South.
We haven't played them since 23.
Yeah, and we won what 23, 24. I'm 23.
We lost the last time we played them, but we beat them the previous 2 times.
We lost the last time. Oh, with Arnett. I keep thinking about Leach. But
Yeah, we beat them at 21-22.
but it's always been back and forth though. They'll win,
Mm-hmm.
we win, they win, we win, they win. It's always been back and forth. We'll beat them twice and they'll beat us twice. But it's always been a good game between us. And us being at home, I think we're gonna be all right.
Well, oh wow. So I mean, it pretty much depends like when we've been good because I'm looking at the series overall when we kind of was in that run in the late '90s and early 2000s, beat them 4 times straight. And then when we were trash, they beat us 6 times straight. And then '07, that was the year that my last year at state that Chrome we had that season made to the Liberty Bowl. And then we were trash again for a little bit. Then we picked it up again. 12, 14, 15.
Yep.
Then they won 2, then we won. So kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like
So
we just trade off depending on when one of the teams actually when one of us is dominant. It's not like the old Miss game as far as a rivalry in the sense of
right.
I mean anybody can win the game. It's kind of based off of who's really probably
right
like the most dominant at the time.
Right.
Okay. We got a little bit of time left. So we got Tennessee Tech. All right, we already know what's up with that.
We already know what's up with that.
And then we got Ole Miss.
Man, we kind of hit it earlier. You know what I'm saying? This game, it don't even matter what the record gonna be on this game. It don't even really matter. I don't even care if we was 11-1 at this point, right? You can write that. When the Egg Bowls happen, you can write those doggone numbers to the side. They gonna line up and we're gonna play. We're gonna play hard. Yeah, the end score might not look good, some of those games, but if you go back, they've been battles all the way up until like the last 5 to 6 minutes of the game. And then one of them will take it and blow it away. Because I remember it ain't really been a dominant performance since Fitzgerald. Think about that. Ole Miss hadn't dominated us. We hadn't dominated them since Fitzgerald. They all been close games. I don't even remember when the last time you had like a 50-something, 3-touchdown lead. I mean, other than that, you know what I'm saying? And I think it was like 56 to something. I can't remember what year that was, but it was one of Fitzgerald because he got payback from them doing some shady crap. I watched that one too. But yeah, man. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one.
Oh, crap. Okay. So now we have the big prediction. So we're gonna see who have bragging rights at the end of the season. So guys, this is really our first season doing the show. So we finna see who had the bragging rights at the end of the year. We have these discussions since we're playing football for Caledonia. Okay, let's see. All right, y'all. I'll give you a look at top dogs. Win loss Mississippi State. Explain why you say 7-5.
All right, this is why I'm going 7-5, right? I think we're gonna do just like last year. We're gonna get out to a hot start. Right? We're gonna get to a hot start and we're gonna lose to Alabama in heartbreaking fashion, right? Overtime, field goal, something like that. They're gonna get out there with a win. LSU game, I feel, they got more talent than us. And I think they coach by the time they get here to where we at, I think they're gonna be homing in and getting on the level, right? And then it's 11 o'clock kick, Death Valley, perfect scene. I think they're gonna win that game. Probably it ain't gonna be as bad as everybody thinking. It's gonna be 50 something. No, it ain't gonna be nothing like that. I think like the first half, I won't be surprised if we leading by a touchdown or 3 points by the half in Death Valley, right? Because we always go down there and have a good showing. Is that the thing is about it is we can't maintain the lead when it get down to the fourth quarter. For some reason, State just got this umbrella over their head. They get your hopes up and they'll let you down, right? When these big games. And then coming back home, uh, to the Oklahoma. I think this game right here is circled, right, for Levy. I think he's gonna lose this game by trying to do too much.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's playing against his former team, right? That all that memorabilia, he can't wait. All this is gonna be a lot of hype game, and I think he's gonna do a bonehead mistake, and we're gonna lose this game on a bonehead mistake, right?
Mm.
Texas and Austin, it's gonna be hard to beat down there. I don't care what it is. It's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
hard to beat Texas and Austin, and that's the reason why I got that loss there too. Vanderbilt, I think we're gonna scrape by Vanderbilt, and that's gonna get us back on track and give us the momentum to push through Auburn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Tennessee Tech, of course, we're just gonna take them behind the woodshed last, senior night and all that other good stuff. We're just gonna beat the brakes off them, and then Ole Miss, right? I don't think Pete Golden is going to give the showing that he had in the national championship, right? But by them being at home, I think we're going to give them. I gave them the edge. When they win by a field goal at the end, or maybe even overtime, right? I gave them the win on that one just because they're at home. But honestly, it could go either way. But
Mm.
right then, after just thinking, I was thinking here we might go 8-4, but just thinking about the home field advantage that they'll have there. And is this game on a Friday? I think it's on a Friday, right? After Thanksgiving? Or did we change it?
The Ole Miss game is, I think it's like on a
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, man, that's going to give them the edge right there. And that's why I came up with 75. But this game right here, Ole Miss game, and this this Oklahoma game right here can go either way.
Interesting you said that.
Them two games can go either way. But that's my prediction. I'm believe we're going 75, man. There we going 8. But the 2027, we're gonna be on track. We're gonna be tracking. Oh
All
my
right.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
All right. So the first J Short prediction in a while. I think
I got
we're gonna
it.
go 9-3. As my co-host said, I think we're gonna get off to a hot start. I think most of us believe that. Neither one of those games are particularly tough until Missouri. Bama, I think, is a loss. Even though it's in Starkville, I think it's one of those things. Are we gonna be ready? Even though it's in Starkville, are we gonna be ready for Alabama? I don't know. You have a bye week. LSU. I would say this was a game I'd be like, yeah, if it wasn't in LSU. But it's just hard to win in Death Valley. It just is. And by that point, they would have figured some things out. Now, if they come out the gate slow and they're not that good, but still, you can't bet against LSU in Death Valley. But the game I think is a dub is Oklahoma. It's at home.
Explain that to me.
I don't think they're as dominant as people. Like, what have they really done the past couple of years in that sense? Or is Oklahoma as dominant as they've been in previous years? I don't think so. I do think if KaMario plays up to his potential of what we think he's gonna, I think even if he's what he was last year and just plays more snaps, even if his throwing isn't as good this year, which I don't think won't necessarily be the case, even if his throwing is not the best, he can run the ball. He can run for 1,000 yards. I think he's going to cause some people trouble. This is the one game I earmark is in Starkville that we can win. Of course, as long as they maintain their composure after losing those two games, but because you got a bye week. So if you lose to Bama, you got a bye week, you lose to LSU, you wouldn't have basically won in a month almost. So I think, as long as we don't get too down, you beat Oklahoma. But like you said, I don't think we beat Texas. They have too much in Texas, in Austin, in the state capital. I just don't see us beating them. I ain't saying we can't. It might sound like a crazy comment, I don't view a game that we have on our schedule as unwinnable.
Me neither.
I don't view any of the games as unwinnable. That don't mean I'm hyping up the team, but these teams aren't as dominant as they used to be. This isn't a couple years ago pre-NIL. You know, when Alabama had 4 dominant receivers, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, or had all these running backs, or had the quarterback room, or Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, or had all those guys. Like teams aren't dominant like that anymore. I mean, you saw it last year. Indiana, even though they had older players, Indiana won the national championship.
Yeah.
Like what? Like it's like folks say, what you got going on around here? Like you got Indiana winning. So who's to say none of these teams are beatable, dominant in that fashion anymore? Where you see the game, you're like, no.
Yeah.
Alabama ain't Bama. LSU ain't. Nick Saban ain't walking through that door. As we've been saying, Oklahoma, Bob Stoops ain't walking through that door. These teams ain't what they used to be. And Vince Young not walking through that door for Texas. So it's like these teams aren't the same anymore. They don't scare nobody. So it's like I might be eating those words later, but we almost beat Texas last year. But I do think we're gonna lose to them this year.
We should have beat them. Should have beat them. We was beating them by 17 points with 10 minutes left.
So it goes without saying, the last 4 games, I think we run the table. I think we beat 3 of the games in Starkville. Texas, Vanderbilt, not Texas, Vanderbilt, Auburn, Tennessee Tech. Tennessee Tech is probably normally a homecoming game if it was earlier in the season. Normally homecoming ain't that late in the season, but that's a chalk win. That's a good little setup before you play Ole Miss. You can play, truth be told, that's the game you rest your starters. In my opinion. Somebody a little nick, a little whatever at that point in the season, which you would have played against a bunch of great teams. That's where you sit a KaMario, or you sit this guy, let him rest up for Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is a dub. I have no faith in Pete Golden. I mean, I'm over all the players rally behind the defensive coordinator or the good look coach at some point. I'm like, nah, man, he ain't Lane Kiffin. I say that much. I think Lane shouldn't have left Ole Miss, but I ain't saying Pete Golden don't know what he's doing and then like that, but he ain't Lane Kiffin. And so I think I won't even necessarily call it upset at this point based on what I'm predicting us do. I think we pull it off in Oxford. I think this is our run. We got one more year, probably a KaMario after this year. And I think this is going to be one of those eras. We had a Chris Ruff era where he was dominant. Dak Prescott. We had some eras when they couldn't do nothing with our quarterback. And I think this is that. It's finna start.
Yeah.
So 9-3.
You know what? Going back, I said this earlier though, right? With this LSU game, and the reason why I got it as it might be a close call for everybody, right? For them, and they might win it because it's in Death Valley. This Joker it goes back to the first point of the game. I think he's nervous about his team. And he's trying to pull people back from the pro leagues, right? That says a lot. And here we go, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks away from, a week away from the season now. I don't know why I'm getting 2 weeks. A week away from the season now. Why are you trying to pluck people from the transfer portal or trying to get better in the last week? Bro, in 5 days, you're going to be doing walkthroughs for your first game against Clemson. Think about that. And you over here trying to get somebody that's going to help you towards the end of the season? Or that tight end that can help you right now only because he knows your playbook and the terminology. You know what I'm saying? But that goes to show, hey, I can exploit some weaknesses somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
And I think Lane Kiffin, I think you even said a couple of days ago off the air saying he always been a troll. So he kind of like getting his name in the papers and everybody talking about him. And he probably even know the rules. I mean, but it's the guy that granted this in Louisiana. It ain't like this isn't uncommon. Trinidad Chambers is playing for Ole Miss right now because the judge went to Ole Miss. Because people that don't know, the law school in Mississippi, or one of them, is at Ole Miss. Mississippi State doesn't have a law school. We have an engineering school. So the law school is there, and I think one is like in Millsaps. But like the law school is at Ole Miss. So if there's a lawyer in the state of Mississippi, it's a pretty high chance that's where he went. So or judge, they're lawyers beforehand. So.
Another interesting thing that I did some research on, right? Which is advantage us. Ain't nobody really talking about it. our 6 players that Levy been talking about for his offensive line been together since January. And I thought these transfers came in like June. No, these guys came in January, the start of the year. So everybody on our front line is better, way better than what we had. Only person I don't think that really had real snaps is the guy from Shannon. And he's playing right tackle. Right tackle is one of the easiest.
Perkins.
Something Perkins. And that's one of the easiest positions to play, man.
Now it gets a little tricky. Now what does give me confidence in a way, Blake Steen was a guy that people were very high on, and he's not even projected to start right now. I mean, he might end up starting, especially that first game with Miles McVay getting in trouble for speeding on the back roads. So,
I mean, that's common, and that right there is common. He might have not played against MLU, but is we really gonna need him for that game? No.
Nah.
What I'm saying though, a lot of people is missing some of the key points, and that was one of the key points. I said, these guys been here since January, right? So you mean to tell me these guys done had almost 9 months of being with each other, learning the playbook, being able to bounce out ideas. These ain't first year guys. All these guys been playing. They got significant snaps at the other schools. You know what I'm saying? So that front line, our offensive line might be dominant, but like I said, my only fear is I haven't heard nothing good about the defensive front. Nothing. Other than Will Whitson being back healthy, it ain't been, and Bledsoe kind of showing flashes. Other than that,
well, I think that does it. I mean, I'm excited that our first show our next show is going to be the preview for the first game, even though it's Louisiana Monroe. Ain't getting too hyped. You know what I'm saying?
I'm hyped, bro. I'm going to be in the building. I'm telling you, I'm going to be in the building. I'm be in the building.
All right, y'all. I don't want to thank y'all for listening tonight, and I'm just looking forward to the season and what we're gonna be able to do. Louisiana Monroe next week, and then we start getting into the nitty gritty of the schedule. So I'm excited to I guess just discuss Mississippi State football. We're gonna have a lot more once the season gets on. We're doing preview episodes now, but as the season get on, I'm looking to probably try to seek out some more interviews and kind of do some things with some former Bulldogs. And then also, us being able to break down the film, maybe at some point even do kind of a live stream of just talking about the game and what's happening, if it's like a road game or something like that. So I'm excited for that. So I just thank y'all for listening. Look forward to y'all catching the replay of the episode, because that's normally what most people watch. And I'm gonna try to get more clips out this week. I've been back on my teaching grind, y'all, so ain't had as much time to put stuff out.
Bro.
All right, y'all.
Yep.
See you.
Every touchdown got the whole state celebrating. Win or lose, we still stand 10 toes. Loyal to the Maroon wherever life goes. The past built the foundation, now the future's calling. Another generation, another